You are now locked in to the Sitting Down with the Sisters podcast.
Hi guys.
Hi guys.
Welcome back to the Sitting Down with the Sisters podcast.
Welcome back to the Sitting Down Sisters podcast.
Welcome back, guys. Another episode. I know it's a shock seeing us here.
Oh.
But
We definitely cut Ayo off.
Anyways, we are your hosts. I'm Ayo.
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Temi.
And hi guys. Today is a very short, this week's one is going to be short, sweet, juicy as always. But just follow us because we are tired, but you know, God is on the throne.
It's my home.
So we'll jump right in. So we had this idea about talking about the term pick me. Like I feel like if you're on Twitter, you'll see that term a lot. And whether it's a derogatory term and whether we would classify ourselves as pick me's, whether we think
what it actually is,
everything,
how it's used within our society, where it came from,
that one.
And yeah, I have a few quotes that I want to ask you guys, obviously in relations to pick me. I want to know if you guys agree with it or what you think about it. Okay. It was actually a conversation on Clubhouse. I don't know whose room it was, but I was just listening in. It was quite interesting. Some of it was quite offensive, but
nothing new there. It's Clubhouse, isn't it?
You know what I mean?
But yeah, I googled the definition of pick me because we didn't know how to define it, to be fair, because it's one of them words that social media created and you would only find the definition on Urban Dictionary.
Right.
So the definition is a pick me is a woman that is willing to do anything for male approval. She will embarrass or throw other women under the bus to achieve this goal. But the unfortunate thing about a pick me is usually the men they are trying to seek approval from are of poor quality and treat women badly.
I think that was so additional.
Quality?
Like that's such an extra part.
I know, it's very.
Who wrote that one?
It just sounds extra bitter.
They chose violence.
And they said this is an example of what a pick me would say. They'll say if a man cheats on you, it's probably because it's probably because of your fault. Be feminine, make him food, clean his ass. Vibes.
They wrote clean his.
They said clean his asshole.
Damn.
They chose violence.
Yeah.
I would never have put. I don't think that's how I view what a pick me is.
What do you view a pick me?
When I see it on Twitter, it's usually, so say for instance, I don't think this girl, absolutely, this is the thing, we'll discuss whether the term pick me is derogatory anyways, but a lot of people call ZZ Mills a pick me.
I was going to say her.
I love ZZ Mills, by the way.
Yeah,
but,
I like her too.
Like they call her a pick me because
very opinionated,
her opinions tend to a lot of the time side with the men, like about women, about topics to do with women and how women, like when the Busset challenge or all them challenges were popular, she had opposing views to a lot of females on the TL about those challenges, and so a lot of people tend to call her a pick me. Right. That's what I think that's what my definition of pick me has become, like a woman that tends to say stuff that not all women will agree with, but always seems to have male agreement.
Right. And I agree with that, but the only additional thing that shows a difference between my definition and yours is when that same woman decides they want to bring other women down for what they're doing or their opinions. At the end of the day, we're women, we have range, like we can have different opinions.
Everyone's
right?
different.
Exactly. And I don't think it's right just because you believe in something that you have to enforce that on somebody else, especially when it comes to supporting the men. Like at the end of the day, it's not about supporting the men, it's still your opinion. Do you know what I'm saying? Right. Like it's not taking sides, it's not a competition. You can have opinions, you know. But I do feel like as much as I support ZZ Mills, she does sometimes bring other women down and make other women that are, you know, that do, let's say, certain things that she doesn't agree with, make them feel like they're not worthy or they're not good enough. She's done that a few times. A lot of the time she doesn't. She's had tweets where she's just talked about the issue and left it as that rather than bringing other women into it. But when you bring other women into it, it's just like, at the end of the day, it's not a competition, but I genuinely believe in women sticking together. You can stick together you can stick together whilst having different opinions. Do you know what I mean? I know it's, like I said, it's not a competition between men and women, but like men are the superior gender. You know what I'm saying? Like we're women, like we don't need to fight, we don't need to, excuse my language, we don't need to bitch about each other. Like let's just have each other's backs regardless and respect everyone's opinions. Like a pick me, an example of a pick me is, let me give another one. So let's say a girl is wearing revealing clothes, and another girl is saying to her, "Oh, I'm not gonna reveal myself, because this is what I believe in. I'm saving it for my husband." That's not a pick me. But then the pick me is like, you're not gonna get a man.
Oh, when you behave like that, a good man. Yeah, they'll be like, you won't get a
not
good
even
man.
Good. Yeah, you won't get a good man. You're what you attract. You know.
Because
can't you see the sort of guys that are coming to you based on things like that?
Or don't be surprised if that's the sort of attention, or
you're pick me.
It brings on like that's sexual harassment sort of vibes.
Yeah, so that's where the pick me comes in.
Because
you know what I mean,
even with like your definition, which I think is a really it's a really interesting definition too. I feel like a lot of the ideals I have would be classified as a pick me, even though I'm not.
But
not by your definition, but by like maybe mine, or by like, just because I have more conservative views than a lot of girls, like because I operate in a different way, I think some girls would think, she is a pick me because she probably thinks when she's all like that, a man is gonna think like she's worth of respect. Where for me, I'm just like that because that's how I am.
Not because of men,
not because of a man.
You want a man to see you as a good housewife or someone.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like even the term pick me is very subjective, because even before we started filming and we would each defining it, and I'm glad you two you've basically said everything that I would sum up as a pick me. It's very, I don't know, even on the topic of ZZ Mills, I feel like I'm glad you said what you said, even, because I don't think ZZ Mills is a pick me.
Yeah.
Like, she has very differing opinions from the mass, and I think a lot of people can't handle that.
That's what I think about her.
All of a sudden, she's a pick me. However, with that being said, I do see where some people would say that with some of the things that she has said, with what you said, basically, when she says you can say your opinion without being condescending and without almost putting down a certain group
or making people feel
less than.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I could remember. I wish I could remember one of her tweets, but I remember seeing it and I was like, you can state your opinion without having to go to those sort of lengths.
And do you know what it is? A lot of her opinions as well, I do agree with. I'm not going to lie and tell you I don't.
Yeah.
Like, the reason why, like you said, that she gets all the hate is because, she's not conforming to what society
standards.
And the thing is, it's not even conforming to society. I wouldn't call it that, but to what we know today as
it's not the popular opinion.
Woman, let's just call it that.
It's not the popular opinion anymore.
So I rate her for doing what she's doing, but my only thing that I can't jump on is when you're bringing other women down. I've been in the other side. I've been on the other side where I feel, I don't think it's happened directly, but it also happens indirectly, where you can tell a woman's judging you based on what you wear. Well, I don't know if you guys know, but in uni, my dress sense wasn't like, not dress sense, but some of the things I wore was quite revealing. And yes, I don't regret it for a second. It's just, do you know what I'm trying to say? And it's just like, I promise you're not better than me. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're either all on the same level, or do you get what I'm trying to say?
We're just living our lives.
It's based on how I'm dressed. Do you know what I'm saying?
Like, I'm glad you used that example, because that's a great one.
It's not my, like, that doesn't define me. That doesn't define how much of a wife I will be in the future. And first of all, being a wife, I get it can be an accomplishment. I'm sorry, there's more to life.
100%.
There's more to life, and there's more to life than men.
I think a lot of girls that think about it in that way, their whole life is about validation from men.
Yeah.
And it's about the male gaze every time.
Okay, how can I do this for a man, do that, X, Y, and Z?
And it's just
that's
like,
long.
And do you know what it is? If you look deeper, a lot of these women aren't even being their true selves. Like, you're pretending to be somebody. More time, you're even envying the women that are open to do all these things.
Right, because you wish that was you.
Because you wish you could be yourself too,
true.
but you can't be yourself because of men.
And it's crazy because on the flip side, I do think that a lot of women that do have modest views are also chastised on social media.
Yeah,
because a lot of
that's sorry, I don't want to cut you off. I feel like that's why I wanted to talk about this specifically, because the actual question is a pick me a derogatory term? Do you know what I mean? So there are women.
So like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like if I said everything I wanted, to be fair, I do say everything I want to say, but if people
like
lived with me and like like if everybody on social media got some insight, especially the way people act on there, if they knew how I think a lot of people would think she's a pick me, or people would just be like, how you do still think like that? Like, it's 2021. I'm like, no, like, I do think there's this trend towards when people have modest or conservative views, they're just seen as like what's going on,
like you're boring,
you're boring, or you don't have range, or you don't think for yourself,
or they think you're trying to impress a man,
or you think that,
or you're being manipulated by a man,
right?
Trying to impress who, trying to do what.
So on the flip side of, you know, women being pick-me's and the negative effects that come with it, it's also, do you know what I mean, it's also people that have these opinions. I don't think those are pick-me's, do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, they're just opinions, the same way women that reveal their bodies have
their opinions.
And they're allowed to do those things.
And they can express themselves as they wish.
Do you know what I mean? With the likes of Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, all these women, like empowering women in their own way, they're taking over the music industry. Hence the reason why all these things are they've always been I don't know if it's been accepted by society, but it's always been a thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
People are becoming more desensitized though to it now,
right? Especially because now it's all free on the internet.
Everywhere,
you know, with all these challenges, the bust it challenge, the silhouette challenge. You know, it's all there. But I do feel like at the end of the day, everyone should respect each other's opinions. Like I said, just because a woman is doing this on the internet, or she's dressed in a certain way, she's no better than a woman that, you know, wants to stay at home and cook for her husband. Ayesha Curry, she just came to mind. You know, I think people did call her a pick-me. They
dragged her actually, because basically her and her husband, they're Christians, and they can be Christians, and her post that, by the way, what she posted. But basically, in the past, she tweeted something about women that reveal themselves, and then she now recently dropped a picture on Instagram of her naked, naked, but you can't see her body parts, like she's covered, but like her almost, obviously not every woman would do that, and that's fine. But then people on Twitter, as they do, they took the time to drag her for filth, because they were like, but you weren't saying this years ago.
What was she saying years ago?
No, but that's the thing. I even saw what she said, but I can't remember it word for word. She was just saying she thinks like something should be left for home and like for your man.
Something blah, 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 should be left like to imagination.
Yeah,
like,
something like that. But then someone said, do you know what's crazy? She addressed it and she was like, guys don't know the context behind that tweet. She'd literally just seen something in the street and she tweeted it, and it wasn't about women in general, but obviously when you tweet,
and especially because of the kind of woman she is, and she's like a wife,
homemaker type of vibe,
she covers her body, so people have taken that and think they've put 2 and 2 together, and then drag her because
and
they
were essentially saying, but you were saying this years ago, acting like people's opinions also can't change. Like as people grow as well, people's opinions on stuff change. Like maybe they did feel like they wouldn't want to do a picture like that on Instagram, but now they feel like that.
With age, like you grow up.
And do you know what? People, we know this. People are bitter on the internet anyway. Someone went as far as saying the reason why she tweeted those things years ago was because she wasn't as attractive. Now that because she's getting better looking, and she knows like the power she has with her looks, she can do. When I saw that, I thought, see, this is why the internet is so toxic. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Can I be honest though? Not to say I understand why they would say that.
Actually,
but no. Wait, let me finish really quickly. She basically made a tweet, and in the I can't remember when it was, but no, this was quite a couple of years ago, where she said how she misses being hit on by strangers, like she misses being
hit on,
like she just misses male attention.
She misses having male attention,
but she's gonna not miss it. But she's married now. That needs to go in the bin. Is that what?
I remember seeing that tweet, and I remember they explained it, and they said that's why they're saying what they're saying.
See, I don't.
I'm not saying that I agree with it, but just adding context.
Nah, you're being shady. Because do you know I know she is.
What she's saying. She's not.
No, this is
she's trying to explain where it might be coming from.
Where that tweet has come from.
Yeah.
Because
so you did see what I said. Like,
do I understand it?
No, you saw it. Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it.
I felt like I was making it up. I know I wasn't.
No, you wasn't making it up.
Okay,
underneath,
cool.
they were explaining it, and they were just like. They're basically explaining like the issue that they have with her, and even the initial tweet as well, where she wrote like, "Oh, you should save it for your husband." Even stuff like that, comments like that, I can't lie, I'm not really here for it.
It's kind of a
because it's kind of like it's making women feel like, okay,
if you don't save it for your husband,
you save your sexiness, or you save who you are essentially for your husband. You save your best self.
I don't think that's what she means though. I don't think that's what her tweet meant. Because I see, this is the thing. There are women that mean it like that. Obviously there's women that mean it like, but I think people are too hard on Ayesha Curry specifically, because I think they want to have an agenda because she's a Christian woman, because they know she has certain values.
They think she's just trying to portray herself as a perfect
she's perfect,
person.
but that's not. And with the attention thing about her husband, I think when that came out, I remember it was a red table talk. People literally dragged her for filth because they were like, "But you have a husband, blah 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 blah." And I think you know Jada Pinkett.
Yeah,
Smith
yeah,
pudding,
yeah. Oh, she was on there.
She was on there. That's where she said it.
That's
So
where
then
she said it. Oh,
basically
sorry, it
in
wasn't
that episode, the thing is, if you don't watch things in context, don't come and tweet about it, because I feel sorry for her, because the way people treated her was like, but what about your husband, blah blah blah.
And
she literally just meant,
you know how Twitter is, they just put little clips on there, so that's what people are seeing.
30-second clip out of a 30-minute
minute
video.
I'm saying, because you know Steph Curry, he's an NBA, like he's one of the best basketball players in the NBA period. So he gets women throwing themselves at him all the time. And as a woman, women get insecure, women get uncomfortable,
Absolutely.
women also want to feel desired.
Right.
Doesn't mean that her husband wasn't desiring her. And to be fair, that desire is not something you should vocally just be spewing anyway, but it's a natural thing that sometimes people feel. And I think she was chastised for it more than a normal woman would be, just because of who she is. That was my issue with it.
That's true.
Because everybody wants to feel like they're still pretty. She's not saying she wants a man to take her home and be doing a mad thing with him, but she wants to feel.
I do see that though. I do see like anything that she says, they will take it
and twist it in a different way.
But with the initial tweet, she was talking in regards to nudity, and the timing of that tweet is what I remember. I think it was either Kim Kardashian, Kim or Kylie. They posted a naked picture. And then
I remember that.
Was that why she tweeted it? Because I saw she addressed something.
And then I think she came out after saying it wasn't because of that, it was something else.
I remember that.
But it's just, I think it in context, obviously, because at the end of the day, we don't know why she tweeted that. Right. She could have tweeted that for anything. Like you said, she could have seen something in the street.
That's what
TV,
she said in her comments.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, this is social media. We can only take what you put
Absolutely.
out. You know? So I think in context of what people were taking it for in regards to nudity, because she did say, posting yourself naked or whatever, that's what people are taking it for. To go from that to, I don't know, like you said, people grow, people evolve. Like, if I had the same thoughts and beliefs that I had at 16, not to say that they should be so far-fetched, but I'm not going to be the same person that I was at 16, 15 now at 23, 24.
We all know the internet is very performative anyway. We know it's not real life. We know that if this was real life, a lot of people come across more forgiving. It's just like, let her live. But when it's the internet, you're behind the keyboard.
They're
no one is seeing you.
It's 2021.
They're looking for
their
retweets.
Lives. So
looking for retweets everywhere you can.
Come on, they're going to do that and drag her down for no reason. Like, what has she really done?
But I do hear what... Sorry, go on.
I was just going to ask, so where do you think the term pick me comes from? Because I was thinking,
was it girls or men?
Unfortunately, no, it's unfortunate. I think it's from women.
Yeah, I think women. Obviously, men probably use it now, but I feel like a woman probably started it.
A woman did start it
for sure.
Because women are always doing a mad thing like that.
Am I sad that it was started? No, because I feel like these women need to get checked. Absolutely, because you can't bring down other women because of your opinions. Yeah. It's not nice, and vice versa. I'm also a believer of, even if you're not a pick me, the opposite of a pick me, and you like revealing yourself, don't then say a woman that has more modest views is a pick me just because they have more modest views. You know what I mean? That's why I'm so big on let people just share their opinions.
Yeah,
you know
and as a woman, I also think, like, if you notice that you are so obsessed with what men think about you, it's time to work on that, because your life will be a pillar to post life. You'll just be running,
and it will go by so quickly. You look back and think,
what was the point?
I never did anything for myself. Never. It was for the approval and validation of men.
You really came to this world by yourself.
You'll go by yourself.
You came by yourself. Do you know what I mean? And it's not every man in this world that you're trying to impress.
That's it.
Do you know what I mean? You don't know every. So if you're just, I don't know, if you're from young, I feel like a lot of these things, they start at like.
And even so, just to add on to that, men are fickle. Men are very fickle.
You're actually trying to impress that gender.
They're on socials,
are you getting?
Listen, they're on social talking about, I want this, I want that. If you look at the women they're going for in real life, it's not correlating.
You're saying the women they're going for, have you seen them themselves?
Right. And do you know what, to wrap up, do you know what I thought was funny?
Have you seen the men themselves? Wait. Have you seen the men themselves? Like, I know we can't see their bank accounts, but if we could, if you could,
it's actually very, very cheeky.
It's like, I want a woman with this, I want a woman with that. What are you bringing to the table? 20
you
marks.
Don't even have that.
You don't have half of it.
Do you know what it reminded me of?
It's the ones that look like camels. Sorry.
Oh. Right.
Not a camel.
It reminded me of the babes.
It's not funny. I get so annoying.
When men were fighting in school, they were like, oh, I'll be able to tell them to break it up. Like, I'll be able to calm him down.
Oh, don't fight. You listen to
fight, babe.
Remember what I told you last week?
Got you. You
look me on your
look me in the eyes, babe.
Another example here. After the party, the ones that are trying to help pack up the
They're like, auntie, where do you want me to put this?
Do you remember back in the day?
There's nothing wrong with, yeah. There's nothing wrong with if you do
but
that.
if you know your intentions are,
if you're doing it to find a husband.
Mate, do you not remember back in the day, the Azonto Warriors, the girl that will just come out of the woodwork, she'll carry his jacket, be wiping his sweat.
Aye!
Baby girl.
Guys, you know what? This other gender we're talking about, are you sure they were?
Is that what you're ready to die on the line for?
You're ready to give up on yourself, like just be for them. Are they being for you?
That's it.
Are they actually putting in the same work? Because you know, men is. Do you know what it is? This is why I said they are. Obviously, men are more dominant, and unfortunately, like we always say, it is a man's world. Do you know what I mean? So they already know that. Do you know what I mean? So you don't need to prove anything. Like they always get. Men are smart. Like you know, in our videos before, we've always spoken about how women are constantly told they have to sacrifice and, you know, do these things and compromise. That's the word I'm looking for. Men don't necessarily have to do that. So if it's not you, it won't be you, regardless of what you do.
And you'd rather a man fall in love with you and be with you for being yourself than this image that you create.
Because you know you have to keep that image up forever. Or he can claim you're not the one he married.
Do you know what it is? You're gonna get tired of pretending.
He can find you.
You can only pretend for. I'm done. You can only pretend for so long.
No, honestly.
Before the cracks start to show, and before you know it, you've forgotten your role, your performative, whatever it was.
And do you know what? Yeah, when the whole Ayesha Curry example came up, I remembered something that someone was saying on Clubhouse. So this guy's opinion was basically the name of the room was called "The only people that call women pick-me's are single miserable women." Now check that. How about that?
Right.
Like, what do y'all think?
That is food for thought.
What do you guys think?
It's definitely misery.
I think they are the majority.
Wait, huh?
They are the majority.
Wait, I don't get it. What are you saying?
As in, it's probably them that the majority are women that are like that.
You think that call of women pick-me's?
Yeah.
You
Or
think?
it's also women that are on their high horse too. There's a mix of both.
He was giving me that vibe of like, oh, your single miserable friend is the one that's always giving you opinions.
I wouldn't necessarily bring the relationship status into it.
That's what I'm saying. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because do you know what his point was? Sorry, he was basically trying to say you won't catch married women saying that. Because
not necessarily.
I'm so sorry. Like my point is, married women, they have no business in this say anyway. You've got your husband.
But there's a lot of married women that love to talk on
Look
single
at our
women.
auntie,
But
like African
all
auntie.
day, all night. You'll never find a husband like that.
But do you know what it is? Like remember that's one part of the definition. It's also it's the opinion and it's also the bringing out of women. But the reason why I don't think but the actual word pick me, they're not trying to be picked. They've been picked.
Okay. It is probably
they're
going
not
to be
doing it to
single.
impress
Right,
women. I think that's their actual opinions.
But that's why I said I don't know if it's
That's their
relationship
actual
status,
opinion.
but it's definitely the
That's
second
why when
term,
he
the
said-
miserableness.
That's why he said single
Because
miserable women.
if you think about it, if you're genuinely happy, you're not going to be watching what the next person is doing. I'm so sorry.
And you're not dictating and telling women what to do.
I'm a big believer. If you're happy within yourself, if you know who you are, if you're confident and you're comfortable in your own skin, you're not going to be moved by what someone else is doing. Yeah, you can have an opinion, but you're not going to be on Twitter from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. dictating like one. I don't know what it is. Like it's misery. That's what it is.
It's joblessness.
Miserableness.
Yeah.
I don't know if
joblessness.
I don't know if I explained it properly, but I didn't agree in it. I just felt like he was.
You think he was being rude?
I feel like he was being rude and he was on the side of women that are pick-me's in a sense where he believed in women being modest and he believed women should cover up and he believed women. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like, those women that are pick-me's, they have their reasons for being pick-me's because that's how as a woman you should be. And you single women that are supporters of Cardi B, that are of Nicki Minaj, stay over there. That kind of thing.
I get what you're saying. I don't think
that's what I got from it.
Similar to what both of you are kind of saying. Ashley, though, like the relationship, I don't think it's the relationship status. It's here. It's what's going on in here.
Yeah.
That's
like it's women.
How you bring a
sometimes here as
relationship
well.
status into it?
It's women that are just a bit like they've had a lot of maybe failed relationships, failed situationships. They feel like maybe they made the wrong decisions in the past. Maybe they've missed out on a good guy. Maybe the guy that they were interested in is married now, has kids. Maybe. And they're sad. Yeah, I think sometimes it comes from a place like that.
And what do they do? What they go? You're saying they're sad, and then they go to women that have moral opinions and say they're pick-me's.
I guess.
They're almost projecting.
Maybe it's almost like they wish that that's what they'd done, but because they maybe weren't like that before,
or anything.
I don't think that's a lot of women. I'm not gonna lie. I genuinely feel like let's focus slightly on the women that you know, the opposite of the pick-me's, like on the other side. I feel like no one's forcing you to be like that.
No one is forcing you to be like that. So
why would you get what I'm trying to say? No one's forcing you to reveal your body, and
I think
he's making it sound like a jealousy thing. Like no one's jealous.
No one's forcing you. It's definitely pressure, though.
Do you know what?
There's some people that, you know, they're probably showing X, Y, and Z. Obviously, there's hundreds of reasons why, you know, that whole sexually liberated movement, everything. I'm not going to go into that one, but
because I think it's a bunch of cap
on the app. But even though they're not being forced, well, actually some of them are feeling like they're like this.
The pressure of social, and I feel like a lot of it comes from social media.
Because I think a lot of people want to believe this sexual positivity. If you want me to talk about this, we can do a whole podcast. We are going to do a whole podcast on it.
Later.
But because anyways, what was I going to say? Yeah, I do believe on that side though. Yeah, the women like that. Nobody is forcing them to be like that. But I think deep down, a lot of people realize that there's some things that should be a little bit more reserved. And I think that's maybe why.
And also maybe, I never thought of it in that way, but maybe the women that are feeling pressure, they feel like that's what's accepted within society and that's what men actually like.
And it's normal now.
And it's normal now. Even though they might not agree with it, they're going to do it because that's what will get them the attention. Yeah. So I never saw it like that. There's that. But I still kind of stand with my opinion in terms of, like, if you are a type of woman that is quite sexually liberated and you enjoy these things, like, if you don't want to do it, I don't think it's that hard. Don't.
Yeah, just don't.
Honestly, don't do it. Like, I was going to say it's probably easier not to do it anyway, but at the end of the day, if you're being true to yourself, anything is easy. Do you know what I mean?
It's true.
If
you have to know who you are.
If you're sexually liberated, look at Rihanna. Rihanna's free with, she's herself.
Yeah.
We've all seen Rihanna's nipples and bums and she does not care. She's her woman. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And look at what's a very covered woman that we know? Like, I wouldn't say Ayesha Curry. Would I say because for the sake of the conversation,
Tamira, sister Tamira.
Okay, she like proper.
Yeah,
okay,
then
look at Tamira. She's living her best life because she's true to herself.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, don't feel the social media pressure. Whatever it is you want to do, just don't be a pick-me. That's my opinion. Don't bring other women down. That's
don't
what
live
I mean
for
when
the
I say
approval of men.
And don't do it for the approval of men. Do it because that's your actual opinion and you just want to stick by those decisions. And don't let anybody tell you differently from what you believe in.
Because it's getting tired.
It's getting boring. And I feel like it's all because of social media. It's not real life, baby.
Mate, join the conversation in the comments. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you so much, guys.
Like,
we hope you
comment,
enjoyed this one.
Share,
all
review,
that good stuff.
All of that.
Don't forget to follow us on our Instagram and our Twitter, Sdwts Podcast.
Shout out to Soapbox.
Subscribe.
Every single time.
Period. Always. You know where we be.
Know where we at.
We'll see you next week. Bye.